Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku was lost to the League Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story bwboreoo from Wattpad. So let's start the video. My eyes flickered open to see a torn flower print wallpaper. My hands laid flat on the rock-like bed. I hoisted myself up, and I placed a hand on the ridge of my back and stretched it out. The springs on this mattress were inhumane. How is this motel still running? There's mold in every corner. I can practically smell the murders in the alleyway. There are mysterious stains in the bathroom. This place sucks. With my complaining, I could hardly hear the sirens wailing in the distance. Alright, I shouldn't complain. I'm a villain. I don't deserve more than this. I'm getting really tired of chasing those guys off. The motel clerk is probably who tipped them off. What the snitch. I didn't even do anything to him. I even paid him more to keep me here. He'll be hearing from me later. It's yet again another routine. I grab my stuff quickly and sneak out of the nearest exit. I spun the dial on my left arm. Please give me a good one. I grinned and sprinted as fast as light, far away from the wailing sirens that followed me every step I took. Quirk. Lottery. Once she spins the dial on her arm, it spins for 10 seconds. It can boost her speed, power, concentration, and in the mystery category, it can manifest as a weapon of choice. I gave myself a much-needed break on top of a tower. It was too high for anyone with the naked eye to see me. I flopped down on my back onto the solid concrete. So tired. So this is where you ran off to. I groaned as I recognized Dabi's voice. I had to get away. Where did you want me to go? I scoffed, laying back on the concrete. Well, Shigaraki's been asking for you. You haven't been coming back. And as his faithful member, I take the duty of checking in on his favorite slot machine. I rolled my eyes. I'm not a slot machine, I mumbled. He's been thinking that you want to leave the League of Villains, you know. I felt my body tense up, which you should already know is impossible. You're just as wanted as the rest of us are. I smothered my hands in my face. I know that, Dabi, but here I am talking to you, right? I'm not leaving. That'd be the dumbest decision ever. I sat up and pulled my knees in close. I faced away from him and out into the blue sky that was covered in clouds. You should also know. I heard his footsteps inching closer. That leaving would leave us no choice but to turn our backs on you and finishing you off before you go and blab that big mouth of yours. I felt the heat rising from my back. The heat was getting more and more intense. Alright, I already know all this. What do you want? I heard him scoff, and the heat disappeared. You're no fun when you're all sad. Anyway, I have to bring you back. Shigaraki wants to talk. Oh yeah, okay. I got up and dusted myself off. Let's go, slot machine. He did a curtsy in front of me and I pushed him away. Sometimes I want to rip those staples out of your mean face. He smirked. I dare you. YN. Toga shouted as Dabi and I entered the hideout. Good evening, YN. But it is a bit hot, not that good. Twice said, but he continued to ramble to himself about the weather. Hi guys. Where's Shigaraki? Twice used his full upper body to point to where he was. Good luck in there. He's been in a bad mood. Toga whispered to me. She gently guided me to the room. I took a deep breath before I opened the door. I wonder how bad of a mood. Shigaraki, I said as I entered the room. He motioned for me to come forward. I took a seat on the couch opposite him. He was scratching like crazy again. He must be anxious about something. Those DMNUA brats. He shouted, slamming his fists on the table. It caught me by surprise, and my hands clenched at my sides. I could feel my composure slipping away. I want him gone. He mumbled as he began scratching his neck again rigorously. Who? I questioned. His dead eyes shot up at me. His murderous intent was oozing out of him. Izuku Midoriya. He pointed to a picture of him on the table between us. He looks around my age. His smile is so big in this picture. This kid is what has Shigaraki so nervous. He is somehow everywhere. ruining our plans. I told him next time we met, I'd kill him. I can't wait that long though. Our plans will be ruined if he gets involved again. I felt the aura in the room tense up. It was like a red cloud was bubbling Shigaraki's mind. No sense could be talked into him. I'm sending you in, he said with a more reserved tone. Me? Where? They already know what Toga looks like. She can't go in. But you can. I want you to go into UA as a new student in the hero course. We'll destroy that worthless class from the inside out. By being able to befriend the class, you can destroy and expose their weaknesses. Your focus is Midoriya. He's the root of all my problems. I kind of don't want any part of this. This isn't what I do here. I just deal with people in the background. I'm the literally definition of the background character. I really have no interest in this. If you get this done, we get to live out in public again. We aren't villains, right, Wyan? We're misunderstood. He, for some reason, always knew just what to say. Shigaraki, why can't Toga just take my BLD and do it? I'm really not. He slammed the table again, this time disintegrating it. Don't talk back. Just do it. I rolled my eyes. He stood up quickly. Wyan, aren't you tired of living in this stupid building? Wouldn't you rather be out there? One with the people. You're young. You have so much left to experience. He walked around me in circles. His words echoed in my head, just like he wanted. Come on, Wyan. Do it for the league. Then we can live normally in a world where we're finally loved and understood. I was tired of being misunderstood. It's not like any of us wanted to be villains. It's not completely our fault. We're misunderstood, we misunderstood. Okay, I'll do it. Shigaraki smirked. Fake heroes really pisses me off. Ugh, I feel gross. I stood in front of a half-cracked mirror, twirling around in my new school uniform. What's gross about it? I go around in these all the time. They're cute. Toga protested. Yes, Toga pulls it off. You'll grow to love it. Twice said, moving from side to side. Remember what your objective is. You're not just there to live out your youth. Spinner's voice erupted throughout the room. He leaned against the wall, fiddling with his knives. You're so stuck up, Spinner. I know what I'm doing. I scoffed and checked myself out in the mirror. I guess part of me missed being a normal high schooler, I mumbled. Spinner, right. You shouldn't let yourself be fooled by their preaching. Remember, they're nothing but fake heroes. Many are in that course for money or fame. They hold no real will. Shigaraki said as he exited the room next door. I felt my heart twist a tiny bit. Yes, of course. I'm there to bring down the people who tormented us for years. I don't know who I'm fooling, them or myself. Slot machine. You're leaving our appealing nest already. Dabi pretended to cry. You really 𝗧𝗂𝘁, I mumbled. Don't be so mean to the person who gave you a haven, friends, and people who understand you. Understand all your twisted desires. He smirked. Twisted desires. They aren't so bad. I just want someone to understand. I felt the rage bubbling inside me again. I saw Dabi smirking while he glanced over to Shigaraki. He mouthed something to him, but I couldn't see what he said exactly. You're ready, Shigaraki mumbled. The next morning the league walked with me halfway. We'd love to walk you all the way up, but we are wanted criminals. Any closer and they'll tear us apart. Twice formed tears in his eyes. Compress, look. We're sending our daughter to school. Don't leave us. But leave to get information. Twice was as mixed up as ever. Don't call her our daughter, you creep. Compress fixed his mask a bit. You will do splendidly. A true performer can tell you holds so much potential. He tipped his hat to me. Alright, bye-bye. Stay safe getting back. I'll get my job done quickly. I really don't want to be there. I walked on ahead, still feeling their gazes from behind. By the time I chose to look back, they were gone. A tiny part of me ached. They disappeared so quickly. I was really alone before Dabi found me. He really did find me people who understood how I felt. But how could they understand all the feelings inside me? I don't even know what half of them are. It's too late to think about things differently now. I'm here for the glory of the people I call my friends. This is for them. I'll do this and do it like I'm saying thank you to them. I finally reached the school and anxiety riddled my body. I hate thinking about my school times. They make my head throb. I can only remember awful times when at school. That's why I left. Now that I'm back, it's bringing all these awful memories back. Someone bumped into me and interrupted my thoughts. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. I was running because I didn't want to be late for class. Otherwise, my class rep will be very upset. This boy continued rambling for some time. Are you alright? He leaned in a bit closer to me. Yo, I'm crying. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a little tissue pack. Here. He held them out, but I was still frozen. I hadn't even felt tears rolling down my face. I slowly touched my face and looked at the tears as they stained my fingers. Don't worry. It's all right. We all have these days. He reached out and wiped away some tears. I flinched and he pulled his hand away. He looked concerned, but he smiled sweetly, reaching his hand out to my face again. Don't worry. He whispered again. For some reason, it was comforting me. His eyes, his voice were all getting to me. When he touched me, it wasn't malicious. It was tender and filled with care. I'm Izuka Midoriya, by the way. What's your name? With those few words, I felt the world stop. The birds that had previously been chirping away made a sudden halt. I could no longer feel the wind moving, but his fluffy hair was still swaying. This can't be the guy I'm supposed to. What's wrong? Is this your first day? You seem extremely nervous. It's just me. No need to be scared. Because it's you is why I'm scared. I'll take you to the teacher's office. He tugged gently on my shirt, and my legs just followed him. I regained myself and forced those feelings that I had believed to be long forgotten back into their little corner. Thanks, but I can take myself there. I thought you said you'd be late to class. You can leave now. I'm all right. Just first day of school nerves. I said, putting on my bravest face. I moved past him. A sudden moment of shock plastered on his face. Oh, all right. Well, I'll see you around. His demeanor changed, and he hopped along to class. I had to admit I felt a bit rude shooing him away like that, but I'm not here to make friends. I already have friends. They're amazing and funny, and they understand me. They taught me how to release this anger seeping out of me. I owe them my life. I owe Midoriya nothing. So you just moved here from X. Without your parents. This is 𝗧𝗪𝗍𝗪𝗧𝗪. His quirk is erasing others' quirks by looking at them. But if he blinks, they gain their quick back. Shigaraki actually respects Izawa a great deal. He's a teacher who tried to protect his students with every ounce of his being. It's something Shigaraki hadn't seen before. I guess if Shigaraki respects him I should too. They sent me here to live out their dream. He eyed me up and down, taking in a deep breath. He flipped through some of the papers sprawled across his desk. Well, welcome. It's pretty late to be transferred into the hero course, so I'm surprised you got in. But whatever. You're in class 1A. I'll be your homeroom teacher. He set the papers down and reached into his pocket to grab some eye drops. Follow me to class. He mumbled as he grabbed a yellow sleep bag that was beside him and carried it with him. My head is starting to hurt again. I'm getting a sick feeling in my stomach. I remember constantly being introduced to new schools when I was younger. It didn't matter where I was. I was always a target to them. I can't understand why. It wasn't my fault my parents did what they did. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. YN. I was shaken from my face by Izawa placing his hand on my shoulder. I took a step back and he retracted his hand. Let's go in. I took a huge breath in and followed him in. I kept my eyes glued to floor and I dug my hands into the pockets of my skirts. I can't do this. I'll fail the league. This is too much for me. I can't. This is YNLN. She transferred into the hero course. Everyone say your hellos. I'm just gonna rest my eyes for a bit right here. He whipped out his sleeping bag and went fast asleep. My eyes lifted and I saw the intense stares of them all. I reminded myself who I'm doing this for. I have to do this. I can't be this wimp forever. With some newfound confidence, I introduced myself. Hi, I'm YNLN. It's really nice to meet you all. I put on my best smile and held my hands together behind my back. I hope we can all get super close. I said, smiling once again. 𝗵𝗃𝗲. She has a pretty smile too. A boy with yellow hair and a black line through his hair was shouting. I need to, a smaller boy piped up but was quickly silenced by someone's tongue. It stretched throughout the opposite side of the classroom. That looks super gross. We'll introduce ourselves now. Her voice was crackly and her body was exactly like a frog's. I also could have swore she made frog-like noises. The students went one by one with their introductions. I couldn't help but be a bit bored. I knew most of them already. Shigaraki showed me most of their profiles back at the hideout. And I'm Izuku Midoriya. You already knew that though. He scratched the back of his neck and the freckles on his face popped out because of the blush on his cheeks. Well, it's nice to meet you all. 𝗵𝗃𝗲. I called out and Tsiu, who still had a strong hold on him, eyed me. Him. I nodded my head. She let him go and he took a deep breath in. Just anything. What is it? He sounded like a pure creep. I walked up to him and bent down to whisper on his ear. I like sitting in the back. Do you think you can establish seats with me? I tried using the fact that he's weak with women to my advantage. He's reacting just how I want. I smirked and he violently shook his head. Take the whole seat. Go ahead. Do you want anything else? He gathered his things quickly with an insane blush on his face. He should go outside and touch some grass. Nope. Thank you so much. I smiled and touched his arm. I never want to do that again. That should set him up for weeks though. He should be thanking me for even laying a hand on him. I sat down behind Midoriya just like I wanted. It will be easy to get close to him like this. He whipped his body around and smiled big. I felt my heart clench. Looks like we'll see each other a lot more often. What is it with this boy's smile? Hiya. My attitude from before dissolved immediately. Let me know if you need something. I can even give you a tour of the school. Oh, in the dorms. Does he never stop smiling? Can he stop smiling already? It's making me feel uncomfortable. I also hope you feel better from before. He whispered with his smile fading, but his wide eyes remained bright and cheery. I nodded my head and he whipped around again. What the hell was all that? After declining many people's invitations for tours, I finally laid down in my bed. I've never had my own room. How would I even decorate it? I don't own anything. I also have no money. If I'm really Shigaraki's favorite slot machine, he should give me an allowance. I heard tapping on my window and my instincts kicked in. I relaxed once I saw 𝗬𝗶𝗶 standing there. What are you doing here? I whispered as I let him in. You're like the league's little sister. We have to keep an eye on you and make sure you're behaving. I rolled my eyes and sat on my bed. Isn't it nice, 𝗬𝗶𝗶? I get a bed. I squealed and he looked unamused. Did you heart also suffer burn scars? I mumbled. I heard that. Yes, your room is basic. Find anything out? I shook my head. It's just the first day. All I found out was their quirks. They aren't going to trust me right away. He nodded his head and grabbed a little picture frame on the desk. I wonder who you plan on putting in here. I could hear purpose behind his words. I wasn't sure what he was implying though. The league or UA? What are you talking about? I pressed and he torched the picture frame, leaving it nothing but broken glass and ashes. Remember, your duty lies with us. Now, I don't really care about the rest of the league or the league itself, but all this leads up to my own plan. So mess this up. Not only will you have betrayed the league, but also your one and only true family. His words soaked into my skin. I could feel my heart beating like crazy. A knock came quickly from the door, startling both 𝗬𝗶𝗶 and I. Oh, you already made new friends. I'll be sure to add this when I tell Shigaraki. Wait, no, I don't know who it is. I'll send them away. Don't leave yet. How are Toga and Twice doing? I still care about them. I pleaded. Bye. I'm done talking. Why is my heart hurting so much? I haven't done anything yet. I need to get some information soon. I can't disappoint them. A knock came again and I rushed to get it. I flattened out my outfit and opened it. Midoriya stood there smiling, holding something behind his back. YN. His voice was brimming with excitement. I couldn't calm down my heart. It was still beating like crazy. I brought you some cookies that Sato made. I was late with my reactions. I felt so weird. My worlds were almost about to collide. Thank you. Would you like to come in? Midoriya's face got quite red after my offer. But it'd just be the two of us. I nodded my head. I know. But think of it as a thank you for helping me earlier and these cookies. I need to get him alone. I need to find out something. He looked around the halls before agreeing to come in. Your room is so plain. It's exactly how it was. He mumbled. I felt a bit embarrassed. I don't actually own anything. I admitted. That should be okay to say, right? So Midoriya, can you talk to me about your quirk? It sounds really interesting. I'd love to hear more about it. I smiled and rested my hand on his forearm. I felt scars and I looked down at them. His right arm is all battered up. It was full of scars. How did it get this bad? My quirk. It's not interesting really. I just enhance my physical abilities. He was getting nervous again. I can push him into a corner like this. I'll get him to talk. Because my body can't keep up with my quirk. I have to use some support items until I can MSTR it completely. He sure does talk a lot. I'm getting tired. But I can feel myself getting better at it. It just takes practice. He put his scarred hand out in front of him and clenched it. I've been talking for some time, right? I'm so sorry. He scratched the back of his neck again nervously. I actually want to hear more about your quirk. I've never heard of one like that. It's like Yaoyorozu's. You're like a luck machine. His eyes were gleaming with excitement. All of a sudden, he pulled out a tiny notebook from his back pocket. What's that? I questioned. He acted like I had caught him in secret. It's just a journal I keep of everyone's quirks. It has all their details about them. Like how long it can last, the specifics about each of their quirks. Journal of everyone's quirk. Well, Midoriya. If you weren't so fixated on being the #1 hero, I'd try and get you to join the league. We could have used a boy like you with brute strength. You have all that information in this notebook. He nodded his head. Now I can add your name in here. Your quirk is just super cool. I don't know. I kinda don't want my entire existence in your notebook. I saw his eyes lower as I disappointed him. Seeing how disappointed he got made me regret my choice. My heart strained a tiny bit, and I gave in to him. I can tell you some things. His light was getting bigger. I kept getting drawn to it. Each option is different. It can enhance a certain aspect of me. Like my concentration, speed, power. Oh, and this question mark. I pointed to it by lifting the sleeve on my shirt. His hands never stopped writing. He was even drawing a little picture of the dial. The question mark lets me manifest a weapon of choice. Like Yaoyorozu, it uses the things in my body to manifest them, and it comes out of the dial. Midoriya ran his fingers along the dial. He mumbled. I can only spin 3 times a day. After each spin, the enhancement only lasts for about 1 hour. His hands went back to writing, and he looked up to me with his ears perked like a little puppy. That's a really cool quirk. I have so many questions, but I can't even form them. He closed his notebook and placed it aside. I kinda envy your quirk. You're a jack of all trades. You'll be an amazing hero. Hero. I'm really the opposite. Are you okay? Your eyes got kinda dark when I said that. He leaned a bit forward to get a better look at my eyes. Don't speak so highly of me. It makes me embarrassed. I pushed those thoughts away. It's too early to give in. His eyes were darting back and forth between my eyes. They're sparkling again. How can his eyes contain so much life? Don't his arms hurt? Don't those scars make him think of bad times? How can he keep shining when clearly he's been hurt? Midoriya. I breathed out. Do your scars hurt? I pointed to them and he looked down. Only at the time. They're like motivation for me. He smiled again but down at his arm. He ran his hand up and down it. Why do you want to be a hero? Don't you think sometimes there are bad ones? Ones that aren't in it for the people. CRP. The words just spilled out of my mouth. All Might became a hero that everyone could rely on. He's my hero. He did everything with a smile. I want to be a hero that can end things with a smile and bring peace to everyone's minds. He answered so quickly. I could sense doubt in his words. Being a hero is the only thing I ever want to do. His gaze shifted to my eyes again. The determination was oozing out of his body. There's no changing him. Why do you want to be a hero? I changed his words in my head. Why do I want to be a villain? I don't want to be either. It's like the path was already paved for me. You can't fight destiny, I guess. Because no one was there to be a hero for me. I mumbled. My head was hung low. I didn't have to see Midoriya's face to know that he could tell I was thinking about so much more than I ever said. I think you should go now. I'm kinda tired. Thank you for the cookies. I'll tell Sato thank you as well. I stood up and Midoriya followed. I'll see you in class tomorrow morning. He grabbed his notebook and scurried to the door. I think I just messed everything up. I shouldn't have talked so much. God, I have such a big mouth. I'll try and fix this tomorrow. For now, I just want to sleep in my new bed. The alarm rang throughout my room. I screamed as the alarm startled me. I fell off my bed and placed a hand on my back. How did I even fall? I groaned. I got dressed quickly and fixed up my appearance. Good enough. It's better than not showering in the hideout. I scowled at the mirror. I wonder if they're doing all right. I wish I could see them for a bit. I stepped outside of my room and caught the eyes of Midoriya, who was walking down the hall with 𝗬𝘪𝘁𝗁 on his side. Toga favors both of them. She said she loves them. But what's so special about 𝗬𝘬𝘁𝗁? She looks pretty plain to me. Wine? Good morning. You skipped breakfast, but do you want to walk to class with Deku and me? I'd rather step on a nail. No, thank you. I have to check something out really quick. You two go on ahead. I smiled and waved them goodbye. Midoriya never looked at me and he was rather quiet. I wonder if he's telling 𝗬𝘬𝘁𝗁 the stuff I told him last night. Did I already ruin everything? No. I couldn't have. Midoriya wouldn't go around talking about me. I waited a bit to let their presence fade into a distance before making my own way to class. Everyone's here, right? Izawa grumbled as he scanned the room. I felt some intense gazes from someone. I looked to the right of me, and I saw Minata's beady eyes staring holes into me. I wonder if I were to kick him if he would thank me. It's team training today. I already picked groups. Everyone groaned. You always pick groups. One of the girls said. Yeah. You said this time we'd get to pick. Mina announced as she stood from her chair. I don't care what any of you want. It's good to be in random pairs. Hero work is random, and you never know who will be on the scene. You need to be able to work with everyone. He whipped out his yellow sleeping bag again. Groups are in pairs of 3. They're on the board. You have 25 minutes to get changed. After go to the back of the school. His eyes closed shut, and everyone ran up to the board. You can see the board from your seats. Why did you all run up there? SWSH with me. Before Izawa wakes up. I heard Minato pronounce. I can hear you, Minato. Izawa's voice boomed, and I saw shivers go through him. Bakugo and Midoriya both walked up to me. We did end up seeing each other a lot. We're in a group. Are you kidding me? I have to deal with Midoriya being all awkward and Mr. Anger issues. What's rescue training? I asked as they both sat around me. It's where we practiced saving a dummy from an area. It's usually timed. It's exactly how it sounds, dumbass. Bakugo grumbled. Bakugo, I heard you lost to Midoriya in the last rescue training. How'd that feel? I didn't lose. He shouted. There's no winning or losing. How did you even know about that? It's kind of funny watching him blow up. Good thing I overheard Midoriya talking about it with Iida yesterday. Really? Then why are you getting so angry? I kind of like getting him angry. His face is priceless. Shut up, you heck. He slammed his hands on the table. Kaken. Stop yelling. Midoriya settled him down so easily. Whatever. We'll think of a plan when we see the problem. Bakugo grumbled. Rescue training. What's the point in this? They can't save everyone. Stop being so dim and slow, you vending machine. Bakugo's blasts were going rapid. The smoke was covering the view. Call me that again, and the next time you use your quirk will be up your butt. I breathed out. Izawa said a villain destroyed a building. Heroes already saved everyone, but a voice could be heard screaming for help somewhere below the rubble. It's still pretty stable, but one wrong move and they're gone, he's mumbling to himself again. Is it even coherent? Oh my god, Deku, shut up. Let's just go to where the voice was last heard. Bakugo started to walk off on his own again. Kaken. We shouldn't separate. Midoriya went after him, but Bakugo pushed him away. I don't want either of you slowing me down. He gritted his teeth. Jesus, he's like a vicious Pomeranian. I wonder if someone gave him a treat if he'll calm down. We're going to same place anyway. I helped Midoriya up, and he nodded his head. Don't follow me. He shouted. We're going to same place, genius. I retorted. You really pisses me off. Bakugo made a th noise. The feeling's mutual. We successfully finished the training. I didn't have to use my quirk and Midoriya didn't use his very much either. I wish I could have seen it up close. It'd be helpful. You guys get a passing grade. But Wine, you should have found a way to apply your quirk more. My quirk was genuinely not needed. How could I have incorporated it? We'll do next time. Sorry. I plopped down on the ground and watched the big screen for the next group. As I was watching them do this drill, I couldn't help but think about how they'd be in an actual battle. I wonder how long it'd take me to make him draw BLD. He's more a combat person. Not my strongest suit, but he lacks awareness. Everyone that flashes the screen, I decided whether or not I could make them cry out in pain. Little parts of me got excited at the thought of them begging. Their new student is now in charge of whether or not they live. I made a finger gun with my hand. Pew! I whispered as 𝗬𝗪𝗏 appeared on the screen. Something about her ticks me off. Toga wouldn't like it if I did something to her. But she did say she wanted more of her BLD, YN. I was quickly taken out of my deep thoughts by Mina calling out to me. Geesh, what you thinking about so happily? You've been smiling since 𝗬𝗪𝗏 showed up on the screen. If I told you, you'd call the authorities. Anyway, would you like to sit with us at lunch? I didn't see you yesterday during lunch, so I wanted to get a chance to invite you. That sounds like the most uninteresting thing that has ever been proposed to me. Sure, I'd love to. She hopped away and I could drop my fake smile now. It's just lunch. I should enjoy it. She means so harmed by it. Lunch rolled around and Mina came to guide the way. Finally, it's lunch. My brain was starting to hurt from all those notes. She whined and stretched her arms out. Mina. YN, that's 𝗬𝗪𝗏. Please turn around. I do not want to hear your voice. Sue and I are joining you both for lunch. Please don't. Tell them no. The more the better. Mina shouted with her fist in the air. Damn it. I really didn't want anyone else to come. Mina seemed a lot more tolerable than the rest of the girls in my class. We got our food and just sat down at a table pretty close to Midoriya's. I didn't expect Todoroki to sit with him. Todoroki never talked much and he could be pretty gullible with basic knowledge, but in the field he's amazing. So how are you liking UA so far? I bet it's pretty weird, huh? Mina said, shoving food into her mouth. I tilted my head. What do you mean weird? I mean it's just a totally new atmosphere for you. I bet you miss your parents. She shoved even more food in her mouth and savored each of her bites. I don't particularly miss them or anything. I never really give myself a chance to. It's not like I can even visit them if I did. Not really. We were never so close to begin with. They're fine as long as I am. I tried my best to put on a smile. I felt the mood go down a bit. It was quickly picked up with Mina's attitude. She was so cheery. She really makes a mood so much better. Her just being herself can make even a crying child smile. So 𝗬𝗪𝗏, how are you and Deku? Midoriya. My interest were piqued. Don't go around saying that like that. People will get the wrong idea. She protested with her face turned cherry red. The wrong idea. Any idiot can see you like him. You cling to him like a baby. He's fine though. This morning we walked to class together, but his attention was completely elsewhere. He kept asking silly questions. We didn't talk like normal. It was kind of annoying. She pouted and poked at her food. Why didn't you just ask Midoriya what was bothering him? Tsuyu said as she placed one of her large fingers on her chin. I did. But he was just ignoring me. He was just rambling about, her voice trailed off, and her eyes shot to me. Why is she looking at me like that? Was he talking about me? He what? I said, a bit flustered. She shook her head. Nothing. Just he was off this morning. She pushed her food aside. I guess she lost her appetite. This table keeps getting sad. There's only so many times I can bring up the mood. She pushed her empty tray aside and laid her chest flat on the table. After that, we talked. There were no malicious tones. I wasn't analyzing their actions. It's like I was one of them. I have only been here for 2 days, but they are treating me so much better than anyone ever has in my younger years. Wyan, you're actually really funny. I hadn't even noticed myself laughing. When was the last time I genuinely was enjoying myself? Thanks. I sounded super formal when I said that. Lunch ended rather too soon for my liking. We were laughing, poking fun at one another, and even talking about people who thought were attractive. I felt like I could be comfortable there. I talked about things like this with Toga, but all those conversations ended with us talking about our latest jobs. How much Toga wanted to savor their BLD, and I just wanted to hear their cries. Toga and I would argue about which part was better. Of course, I let her have her way. But here, there was none of that. We acted like kids our age. This what I'm supposed to be talking about. I felt guilt stabbing my head. Not too long ago, I was thinking about doing horrible things to them. I was enjoying those thoughts. How could I be so cruel? Hey, Wyan. Are you okay? It's time for class again. You suddenly got really quiet. Mina placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. I didn't flinch when she did. Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. How many times has one of them asked me if I was okay? Did the league ever ask me that? When Dabi brought me there, Shigaraki just looked at me like a tool for his dispense. He kept me hidden until when he really needed me. But they're my friends. Twice and Toga seem to like me a great deal. I'm doing this for them. I don't care about heroes or villains, but I have to choose a side. It was finally the weekend. My brain honestly couldn't keep this up. I dropped out of school in my 2nd year of middle school. My brain physically cannot handle every ounce of information that was dropped on me. I'm usually a hefty sleeper. I tend to wake up fairly late even if I go to sleep at a reasonable hour. Wakey. I screamed, and Toga screamed as well. What the hell? You frickin' scared me. She giggled and pounced on my bed. Sorry, but I'm here to take you back to the hideout. Just for today. Shigaraki wants to speak with you. Get dressed. She definitely could have woken me up nicer. How did you even get in here? I said, getting out of bed. The security isn't as tight as they make it seem. Plus, I took some ladies' BLD to get in and posed as your mom. She seemed proud of herself, and every time she talked about BLD, her eyes would sparkle. I rolled my eyes and got dressed quickly. It wasn't a good thing to keep Shigaraki waiting. He wasn't very patient. I stood in front of the mirror again and sighed. I wish I had different clothes. Great, let's go. Maybe I'll see Deku and Uraraka on our way out. Her cheeks blush, and she ingested the BLD again, turning her into a brand new person. Where'd you find her? I asked, heading for the door. I don't know. She was the first person I saw. I wonder what the lady was doing. Does she have a family? Someone's bound to miss her. She looks like a pretty well-off lady. Hello, let's get going. Toga pressed. I nodded my head, and we walked down the vacant halls. I'm sorry. I didn't know parents were allowed in the dorms. Midoriya appeared from seemingly nowhere and gave proper greetings to Toga. I could sense Toga's excitement. Who's this? She exclaimed with her blush coming back. This is Izuku Midoriya. Anyway, we'll be leaving now. Bye Midoriya. I'll see you later tonight. I pushed Toga along and we made it out of the school like a breeze. What's so interesting about Midoriya, Toga? I covered Toga's body while she changed outside of the hideout. Midoriya. I want to become everyone I love. Her smile appeared again. He reeked of BLD when I first saw him. He just looked so amazing. He's my type. She was mumbling and looked like she was getting lost in her thoughts. So she loves him because of his BLD. Because he seems genuine. 'Cause he's her type. It seems like so much more than that. We entered the hideout and were welcomed to everyone's stares. Oh look, The 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶 are back. Ďaby's welcome were always unwanted. Ďaby, I thought you were going to see someone. Did they bail when they saw your face? She stuck her tongue out at him. Joke's on you, people like my scars. Not everyone likes a crazy girl who loves BLD. She scowled at him and walked past him. Hi twice. She lunged at him and he caught her. Good afternoon, Toga. He smiled down at her. Your mask is lifting a little. She mumbled while pulling it down. I smiled, taking in the sights of my friends. I kind of missed them. It was nice seeing Twice and Toga together. They seemed to be the most understanding of one another. Why you still out here? Shigaraki is waiting for you. Spinner came out of a room and had a scowl on his face. Way to ruin the mood. I'm going. You're such a negative lizard. I mumbled before entering the room behind him. Hi, Shigaraki, I said, smiling, hoping to relive some of the tension that was mounting in the room. Yeah. Ďaby told me you haven't really found out anything. His eyes were glued to the floor. So no nice talk, I guess. Well, not exactly. I found out that Midoriya keeps a journal of everyone's quirk. I just need to get my hands on it. There was complete silence. I actually think Midoriya could be really useful to us. With that journal of us and his quirk, he could really. In a flash, Shigaraki's hand was on my neck, keeping one of his fingers lifted. What did you just offer me? His voice was deep, and I knew he was holding back from placing all 5 of his fingers on me. 'Cause I think I heard you wrong. His grip on my neck grew tighter. I'm going to pretend you didn't say any of that, and now it's my turn to talk. My heart was about to burst out of my chest. My breath was getting shorter. There were times where he threatened me, but his bloodlust was oozing out of him. Your job there isn't to make friends. Your job is bringing me Midoriya's head on a platter. Suppose I ask you to end it. You ask when. Don't forget your place. He pushed me back and I hit the wall behind me hard. I crashed to the floor and touched my neck. Don't disappoint us. You know I don't like hurting you, but sometimes you leave me no choice. How else are you going to learn? My head hung low, and I felt so powerless. Yes, I'm sorry, Shigaraki. I whispered. He came over to me. Go out there and do your best for Toga and Twice. He whispered before leaving me alone in the dark, dusty room. It took me some time to collect my thoughts. I feel so useless. Why did those words even leave my mouth? It was some time before I picked myself up off the floor. When I opened the door, everyone was gone. I looked at the counter, and there was a note. It's from Ďaby. We left on a job. You can go when you're ready. Don't forget what Shigaraki told you. Everyone's counting on you. My arm fell dead beside me. Why didn't they say goodbye to me? Is it 'cause I disappointed them? I'm feeling hollow again. Feeling empty for me is a normal emotion. I go blind to everything. My senses are numbed. I don't feel anything but that numb pain of disappointment. Hey little girl. Are you lost? Where am I? I looked around and I was by a stream. I didn't even know this area had a stream. The sun was already started to set. The sunset was hitting a nearby bridge, and I was feeling drawn to it. How long have I been out? Are you alright? His eyes were glued to my neck. I'm guessing Shigaraki left a bruise. It's alright. Just like Midoriya, I'll take my scars as motivation too. Aren't you proud, Midoriya? I'm taking the scar and using it for me to do better. I'm sorry that I have to steal your journal. You can always write a new one. I'm taking you to the police. Girls shouldn't be out alone. He reached out to me and I grabbed his hand, stopping him from touching me. Why your grip's too tight? His voice started panicking, but I could barely hear it. It's not to say that I'm not in control of my body right now. I just feel as worthless as dirt. I simply want others to understand what this feeling is. How else are they supposed to understand how much this hurts? The people who understand me are disappointed in me. So, his screams got louder. The people I love are growing apart from me. I just want someone to understand my pain. Is that too much to ask for? Sirbi, there's BLD all over me now. I should probably clean myself up before I go back to the dorms. I looked down at the man below me. I stared long and hard at his pale face. I tore my eyes away and watched the sunset for some time. You meant no harm. I am sorry. I disposed of what was left. It wasn't tough to do this. The league was very quick and ready to teach me all their little tricks. This was one of them. I laid my dirty clothes down on the grass and jumped into the stream. The red faded away into the pale blue water. I should get back to the dorms now. The numb feeling never left. I still feel like a disappointment to the people who matter most in my life. The crack that was separating us was only growing. I feel as though it's wrong to have doubts. They helped raise me, and now I'm having thoughts like this. My eyes were fixated on the ground below me. Occasionally, I'd bump into people as they passed by me. I could feel their stares, but what could they possibly do? People only help those we are crying out for pain. It's only natural. People like me, who suffer in silence, are overlooked. It was selfish of me to think they could see what really lowered behind my eyes. It was pointless to believe that the world would ever look into my eyes and see that I was desperately aching for someone to notice that I was crying out for help. The ground below me turned familiar, and I realized I was in front of the dorms now. I really don't have the energy to fake with them today. I kept my head down low until I made it in front of my room. I quickly entered and took a huge breath in. I headed straight for the shower until a knock appeared at my door. Are you kidding me? I dressed quickly and hid my clothes under my bed and changed into another outfit. Hey YN. I noticed you just got back. I'm supposed to make sure you're all right. The voice belonged to 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. My hand hovered over the door handle. You looked a bit down when I saw you enter. I'm just checking on you. His voice was timid, but he was being sincere. I opened the door and looked him straight in his eyes. Whenever I looked at them, I felt warm. I felt like a huge blanket was being wrapped around me. I know I'm being weird. Just let me look at you for a little. This is all I can do right now. His eyes softened, and they darted back and forth between mine, almost like he was looking for something. Can I come in? He whispered. I didn't respond, but I opened the door wider, and he welcomed himself in. We sat down on my bed, and I fumbled with my fingers. Would he still look at me like that if he finds out everything I've done? YN, are you alright? He leaned a bit forward and tried to lock eyes with me again. I nodded my head. I heard him sigh, and then he grabbed my face and made me look at him. He lifted my chin to reveal my neck. What happened? I moved away from his soft touch. If I tell you, you'll never look at me with those soft eyes of yours. They'll turn into how everyone else sees me. I don't want that. I tried to form a sentence, but nothing was coming out. A million thoughts were running wild on my head, but not a single sentence could escape my lips. It's all right. You don't have to tell me now. His voice was getting softer. The aura around him was beaming. Even if he was simply sitting somewhere. His ray touched everywhere. I disappointed people very dear to me. I don't know what to do about it. That shouldn't give me away. Maybe me being vulnerable with him will let me grow closer to him. I'm technically still doing my job. You shouldn't be so hard yourself. Whatever is it, I'm sure you're doing your best. You don't strike me as a person to give up very easily. You're really strong too. Keep giving it your all. I'm sure they'll come to understand you a little more. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, if only you knew why my heart is so heavy. You're so kind. Do you appear this bright to everyone? Let me get some ice from right outside. We can put it on your neck. He gave me a sheep smile and reached out to touch my neck. I flinched again and he sighed. Sorry. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. I'll just go get some ice. He mumbled before leaving the room again. I've never felt so conflicted in my whole life. I owe my life to the league. Shigaraki is right. But if he's so right, why do I feel so awful? I feel like a huge chained ball is at my ankle. It's forcing me to stay down with the league. My obligation to them is justifying their actions and the things they tell me. But when I'm here, when I'm at UA, when I'm with 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, I feel like I can reach up higher. The weight of the chain is getting lighter. But I can't get rid of the chain. I don't know how. If they find out about me, they'll never forgive me. They'll just see me as the sum of the earth. I mean, that's what I am. I'm back. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 opened the door and walked to me slowly. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. I breathed out, lowering my head down. I felt him sit back on the bed. Yes. He lifted my chin again, pressing the ice-cold bag against my neck. Talk to me about why you want to be a hero again. I felt his hand go back a little. He was hesitating. He lowered his head before he lifted it back up to reveal his emerald eyes. And there he goes rambling. But this time, I listened to his endless rambling. It was really nice watching him light up. You can tell he was aching for someone to ask him. At one point, he started talking about missions he's been on. He talked about his work study with Night Eye and how his fight with Overhaul was a huge moment in his life. I never give up. It's honestly a big fault of mine. He laughed under his breath. But how can I give up when I know someone needs my help? There's always a way out. A way to win. I have to save everyone. But saving everyone is impossible, I spoke without thinking. His eyes shot up to me and he lowered his arm, holding up the ice bag from my neck. You're right. I can't save everyone. That's why if they're in my reach. He gently rested his hand on mine. If they're in my reach, I'll do everything I can to save them. I'll never give up on anyone. He gently squeezed my hand and I felt my heart throb a bit. We stared hard into each other's eyes. His eyes were as bright as ever. I wonder if mine are shining like his. He always looks at mine like he's searching for an answer. You really are like the sun. I said out loud. 𝗬𝗵𝗲. I hadn't meant to say that out loud. He blushed again. His freckles made another appearance and he smothered his face in his hands. I got carried away. I'm sorry. He stopped mid-sentence and peered his eyes through his fingers. The moment kinda came over me. He protested. I smiled a little. He was acting all bold before. How cute. 𝗵𝗃 spent a few more minutes here, making sure I was okay and giving me some help to better heal the bruise on my neck. I should go now. It was nice to see you today, YN. We should do it more often. He smiled and held his hands together behind his back. I nodded my head in agreement. I watched as he walked down the hall and quietly closed my door when he disappeared into his room. I pressed my back against the door and fell to the ground. I smothered my hands in my face with my knees tucked in tight. What am I doing? My eyes fluttered open to a very blurry 𝗕𝗶𝗿 sitting on my desk chair watching me. What the hell? 𝗕𝗶𝗿. I shouted. I hit my back against the wall, trying to get further away from him. Hey, how've you been? I was too in shock to respond. Shigaraki sends his apologies about yesterday. He just wanted to remind you of some things. He put down a book that was in his hand and stood up, walking towards me. I took some expensive tea from that rich girl. He reached back on the desk to hand me the cup of tea. Why are you here? They might find you. I mumbled hesitantly, reaching out to grab the cup. I've been here since last night. They could have found me a long time ago. This school's security is a joke. Last night. My heart stopped. What were you doing last night? His words were coated with anger. I retracted my hand from the teacup that he was still holding out in front of me. I wasn't doing anything. I was getting information from 𝗵𝗃. That's why he was. 𝗕𝗶𝗿 dumped the burning hot tea on my bed. 𝗕𝗶𝗿. I yelled, getting up from the bed. Sorry. I'm not good with liars. He smirked and lit up a flame in his palm. What were you talking about? He inched closer with the flame in his palm getting bigger. He was just helping me. Isn't that what I'm supposed to be? His body appeared quickly in front of me. His flame inches away from my face. No. You're supposed to be getting that notebook from his room. You're on the job. You're not on vacation. I moved my head away from the heat of his flame. The side of my face felt like it was getting cooked. I'm getting it tonight. Last night he invited me to his room. I'll get it. I promise. Please don't notice that I'm lying. He eyed me up and down before laying his arms beside him. Good girl. He smirked. Twice says he misses you. Compress too. He said as he headed to the window to leave. They do. I miss them too. Can I see them soon? He shrugged. Don't know. Do your job right, and you probably get to see them sooner. He went out the window without ever looking back. I forced myself to gain the courage to put on a brave face still and go to class. It'd be best to hide the fading bruise on my neck. There was nothing that could be done about my eye bags. I rushed into class and tumbled into my seat. "YN," Iida shouted, and he came marching towards me. "You were almost late. You should do well not to let this become a habit." His arm was going up and down like he was commanding me to do something. I laid my head flat on the desk and just gave him a thumbs up. "Don't disregard my efforts to push you to be a more efficient student." His commanding shouts grew louder. My patience and tolerance to deal with him were growing shorter. "All right, I got it. You can go away now." My tone was a bit more aggressive than intended, but it sent him away, so I didn't pay any mind to it. "How are you feeling, YN?" My head slowly lifted, and Midoriya's puppy-like eyes were already staring daggers into me. "I'm just a bit tired, I guess. I have to go to his room tonight. I need to grab his notebook. Hey, do you think you can let me see your dorm? I think you owe me." He raised an eyebrow. "I think you owe me. I was helping you last night." He crossed his arms over his chest, and he fully turned his body towards me. "Well, yes, but I always let you in my boring dorm. I want to see yours now. Then we'll be even." He started to get panicky eyes. "But my room isn't that special. I barely decorated it." He scratched the back of his neck and smiled. "Come on. My room is so boring. I'm sure there'll be something for us to do there. We can even just watch a movie." I moved my hand to rest on his forearm. He gets nervous around girls too. It was really something to see how flustered he gets. It was honestly pretty endearing. "Ah, okay." He still looked a bit hesitant but never said anything else about the subject. "Come around. All right, we're starting. Everyone quiet down now." Aizawa's voice boomed throughout the classroom, immediately making everyone sit perfectly in their desks. "Come to my dorm around 6 tonight." Midoriya whispered those final words before paying all his attention to Aizawa. "I'm sorry, Midoriya. I'm leading you straight towards disaster. Forgive me." After school was over, I walked back to the dorms with Mina by my side. She nuzzled into my arm with her own. "So, I see you and Deku are getting pretty close. You're going to his dorm tonight, right?" "How did you know?" I said, moving slightly away from her. Bakugo was talking about it with Kirishima and Shiro. He thought it was weird how he actually agreed to it. She said flatly, adding mini bounces in her step. "Why is he surprised?" Well, yes. I am going to his dorm tonight, but only to check it out. I don't own very much, and my room is pretty boring. I thought seeing his would be a nice change of environment." She nodded her head and started laughing. "His room is definitely like stepping into a whole new world." "What do you mean?" She hunched over and started laughing even harder. "It's better if you just see for yourself. When we first moved into here, everyone showed off their rooms. Deku's was definitely the most exciting to see. It's like a museum in there." We walked through the dorm doors, and her laugh started to echo throughout the main hall. "Good luck tonight. Have fun." She walked away laughing, and I felt like I was missing something hugely important. Good luck. She may not know what I'm actually going for, but what does she mean by that? I was running through ways of how to take his journal without him realizing it. I don't know where it is yet, and I can't just take it in front of his eyes. What if he has notebooks filled with them? He wouldn't notice if just one were gone. But if there is just one, then he will definitely notice. A plan on stealing it would have been great to think about before I was standing in front of his dorm room. I knocked, and within seconds he was opening the door. Of course, his radiate smile greeted me first. "Hi YN, see, come in." When he widened his door, I got a good clear view of his insane room. All Might was plastered everywhere. "Wow," I mumbled under my breath. Stepping further into his room. He closed the door behind me, and I was still ogling his room. He was watching my face just as intensely as I scanned his room. Every single wall is covered in this All Might stuff. How am I supposed to see the journal like this? I know it's a lot, but I never thought anyone would see my room again after the first day. He was fumbling with his fingers, and he was almost nervous sweating. "It's really all right. I just wasn't expecting this." "It's all right." I took a seat on the very far edge of his bed, and he laid down next to me. "Are you tired, Midoriya?" He quickly shook his head. "No, I'm just thinking of what movie to watch." I usually fall asleep during them. Perfect, I'll make sure he's asleep and then look around his room for the journal. I really like them though. Just one movie then. I smiled, and he pulled out a computer from under his bed. Do you want to pick one? Or should we just look for what they have? I changed my position so that I was lying down as well. I grabbed one of his pillows for support, placing it against my chest and softly nuzzling my head into it. It smells like him. I shot my head up and shook it. I sound like a perv. I shouldn't be smelling his pillow even if he smells super nice like the sun and the tiniest traces of mint and sweat. I smiled, nuzzling into it a little more. We decided on a movie, and he crossed his arms in front of him to support his head. We sat in silence majority of the film. Occasionally I would bother him describing a scene. Look at this scene coming up. It's my favorite. I whispered and was about to shake his shoulder when I noticed he was fast asleep. I retracted my hand and was staring at his perfectly sleeping face. I laid my head on my arms to get a better look at him. His hair always looked so fluffy. His freckles are hidden behind his arms. I want to see them. His big green eyes are closed, yet I just know they're still as bright and inviting as ever under his eyelids. I reached out to touch his hair but stopped myself. I can't do this right now. I have to find the journal. I stared a little longer, though. His face looked so delicate like this. I shook my head and regained my focus on the actual task at hand. I tried to get off the bed quickly, but it seemed like, with every sudden movement, he would move a little. I took a deep breath and hoisted myself off the bed. He didn't move. All right, now let's look for this journal. I searched up and down his all-might-ridden room. I looked under his desk, on his balcony, even in his closet, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I sat on the floor against the bed and sighed. How am I supposed to find it in here? I closed my eyes and opened them. I was in the direct eye view of his backpack. I felt compelled to double-check it. To my surprise, there it was behind all the other notebooks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hugged the journal and heard movement coming from the bed. 𝗬𝗲𝗏. I kept still, being careful not to make any noise. I looked back, and he was still sleeping, just facing the other direction. I have to make this quick. I got a bit curious and took a peek inside. It was all a pretty in-depth analysis of each pro-hero's quirk. Like what situation is best and worst for them, who they are frequently with. It was all very thorough. But what surprised me the most was there were little boxes in the right-hand corners of all heroes' pages. Each of them contained a one-sentence phrase. I noticed that Bakugo had the most pages filled out, and at the end of his summary, Midoriya had written, "Definitely number 1 hero potential, but I'll still become better than him." I let out a breathy laugh. He sounds so childlike. I kept flipping through the pages until I stumbled upon my own page. It wasn't nearly as filled out as everyone else's were, but I had a box of my own. He wrote, "I'll get to know them and watch them become an amazing hero." I felt my heart drop a bit. How can he think so highly of me? He doesn't want to get to know me. If he does, he'll just be horrified. I can't do this. Not to him. But I need to. I felt tears swelling up in my eyes. My hands gripped the journal tightly, causing wrinkles to form on the tattered paper. Softly closing the journal, I tucked it safely away. "I'm sorry, Midoriya. Please forgive me one day." I crawled back into the bed and watched the movie like normal. Except warm tears were rolling down my face. Midoriya's eyes started to flutter open somewhere near the end. I quickly wiped away some tears to not alarm him. "Hey, is the movie over?" My face suddenly got very heated in my face at the sound of his tired voice. "He looks so cute when he's sleepy." I shook my head. "Not yet? You woke up just in time for the ending." He stretched out his body, and he was making weird noises as he did. Hearing the bed shuffle around, I peeked out of the corner of my eye and noticed he was inching closer to me. I turned my head away from the screen to see his eyes staring holes into my face. What? Do I have something on my face? I touched my already burning cheeks. He leaned in, investigating my face more. "You were crying," he whispered, reaching out, but I moved my head away. I wasn't. The movie was just sad. I sat back up and put my back against the wall. He sighed and sat up with me. "You're a bad liar," he mumbled. "Your eyes are still tear-filled." He reached out again. One's about to fall out of your eye right now. I felt the warm tear escape my eye, and he wiped it away with his thumb. You can cry if you want. It's all right. All we ever do when we're together is take care of me. I'm so selfish. It really was the movie. A sad scene came out while you were sleeping. I gently took his hand and moved it away from my face. He sighed and gave a weak smile. All right if you say so. We looked back at the movie, but the credits were already on. We missed the ending. He nodded his head and slowly got up. He was heading to turn on the lights. I'm sorry, Midoriya. I clung to the back of his shirt, preventing him from moving any further. Sorry. For what? He turned around to face me, but my head was fixated on the floor. Below. I'm just sorry. Genuinely. For everything. I breathed out. I felt his hand rest on my head. He softly stroked my hair, and I felt my heart breaking piece by piece again. I'm a little lost, but it's really all right. Whatever happened or whatever you did, I forgive you. It's better if you don't know. I'm sorry for crying all over you. I stared at his shirt, and it was covered in my tears. Jesus. Was I always such a crybaby? Never again will that happen. I'm just not in my right headspace. I need to go home. It's all right. I'm glad you can confide in me. It makes me really happy. He put on a smile, and I felt my body lighten. I folded my arm over my stomach. I'm sorry, Midoriya. We said our goodbyes, and as soon as I entered my dorm, I threw myself on my bed. I punched my pillow and sat up, taking the journal out of my shirt. I laid it flat on my bed and flipped through the pages again. Is this how I'm repaying his kindness? With bringing him nothing but harm? I tried to block out those thoughts, but it seemed that it would come again, much harsher with each time I tried. My body was feeling heavy again. The walls were closing in on my thoughts. Everything hurts. I plan to give the league the journal right away, but I feel like I'll just fall over if I try to stand now. I fell asleep that night, not even noticing that I was clinging to the journal for dear life. The weekend came rather quickly. I was still feeling extremely weighted. Every step I took felt like a huge guilt trip. Midoriya hasn't noticed his journal is missing, but I'm sure he will. I hadn't even noticed I was avoiding everyone. Midoriya was, of course, acting very friendly with me at first. He was talking to me like normal, but I just couldn't keep up with his energy. At one point, I snapped and yelled at him to leave me alone. I couldn't bear to look him in those innocent-looking eyes after leading him so far into a disaster. Everyone grew wary of me because of my new attitude. It was back to the time in middle school. Except this time, it was fully my fault. But I didn't think this new attitude of mine was all that new. I think it's quite normal. They just aren't used to it as the league or I am. Saturday night was the night I decided to head to the hideout. I hadn't heard anything from 𝗬𝗶𝗍 or anyone else in the league. It was weird to see them be so distant. 𝗬𝗶𝗍 was checking in on me pretty frequently, but after that one instance, he just stopped. Heading towards the hideout, I felt like I was walking there for the first time again. 𝗬𝗶𝗍 had caught me in the middle of one of my many meltdowns. He always had a stupid smirk glued on his face. He told me that Shigaraki would love to meet someone like me. He gave me his jacket to help me clean myself up, telling me where to go and when. It was the first time in a long time that I had witnessed someone try to be nice to me. In its own twisted way, I was excited someone didn't run away from me. Especially seeing me in that state. I was taken away from my thoughts when I felt someone's hand on my shoulder. YN. I froze where I stood when I realized it was Izawa. Izawa. I looked back at him, but it had the same unbothered expression as always. Midoriya was telling me how you've been acting strange these last few days. Now I see that you are also going off heading into bad neighborhoods. My heart was beating out of my chest again. So we followed you. Midoriya's fluffy hair popped out behind Izawa. Why are you following me? I'm just fine. I was just going for a walk, and I guess I was focused on the ground too much and lost my way. That wasn't even convincing for me. That's against school rules. The dorm's point is for UA to keep an eye on our students before something bad happens to them. I could hear a bit of anger in the back of his voice. I've never been scolded like this before. It felt so much worse than just being hurt. Yeah, why and we all just want to see you safe and happy. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 stepped forward. Let's just go back home, alright? Isn't my home with the League? I saw him reaching out to try and pull me towards them, but I backed away. For some reason, I felt so afraid. I felt like going back to them would only hurt them further. I need to stay far, far away from them. I folded my arm over my stomach, protecting the journal in my shirt. I have to get away from them. I'm just going on a walk. What's so bad about it? My fear was taken away, and my defense was kicking in. That you're being exposed to being hurt. We don't want it to happen. I will drag you back if I have to. Izawa reached for his binding cloth. I kept stepping further away from them. I feel so scared. I can't go back to them. I've already done too much to them. I'm sorry, but I can't go be. Someone's hand covered my mouth, and I felt flame being exposed to the right side of my face. Hi, slot machine. I missed you. He whispered before throwing me towards a nearby wall, making me collapse to the floor. YN. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 shouted. He ran towards me, but 𝗕𝗶𝗍 made a flame surrounding me. Izawa was quick to react and cast his binding cloth out, trying to encase him. 𝗕𝗶𝗍 caught it in his hands with ease. I'm not the same guy I was last time we fought. He smirked, hurling Izawa towards him with his fist ready. YN. Let's get you out of there. Can you use your quirk or something? 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 was trying to jump over the flame, but getting too close to them would just burn you. It'd be best to leave her alone. I just came for her, not to fight with you amateurs. He threw Izawa against a wall as well, lowering his flame to throw me over his shoulder. My body was limp and everything was aching. Give her back. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 shouted, throwing himself straight for 𝗕𝗶𝗍. Come on, kid. 𝗕𝗶𝗍 made a fireball and shot it straight for him, but Izawa cast out his cloth, catching 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 right before the flame could contact him. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. It's all right. I mumbled. My voice was cracky and it was hurting to breathe. One throw to the wall by 𝗕𝗶𝗍, and I'm already dead weight. Ah, look at that slot machine. You made a friend. Do you want to say goodbye? Too bad. Let's go. As those words escaped his mouth, so did a black thick liquid. The same liquid exploded out of my mouth as well. No, no, no. I can't leave them like this. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. I shouted. I saw his eyes, and for the first time, I was scared of them. They were brimming with anger and bloodlust. YN. He shouted, running towards me. Your eyes always looked like you were asking for help. And I'll do everything I can to make sure they never look like that again. He ran faster towards us, but it was already too late. Right before I was transported, I threw his journal at him. Please keep it safe. I'm sorry, 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. You said you'll forgive me. But it's alright if you don't. Thank you for the brightness you brought me. But I'm already too far gone to be saved anymore. When I popped out into the hideout, I started coughing, holding my throat. What the heck, 𝗕𝗶𝗍? You could have warned me. I shouted, still coughing. Oh, shut it. He stalked up to me and grabbed me by my shirt. You threw him back the journal. I felt his hand getting warmer. I tried thrashing him away, but his grip was as tight as ever. Now, I've told you before. I don't care about you or those demon UA brats, but nothing and no one is getting in the way of me and my own agenda. He slammed my body against a wall. The pain was echoing throughout my body. 𝗕𝗶𝗍, that's enough. 𝗕𝗶𝗍 let me go, making my body thump on the ground. They don't deserve this. They aren't doing anything wrong. I shouted. I was going to give you the journal, Shigaraki. After seeing Izawa and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 in so much pain. After seeing people who seemed like they cared and were worried about me in so much pain. I couldn't go through with it. I can't do that to 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 or the rest of UA. Shigaraki said nothing but was keeping an intense gaze on me. I saw him take a look at 𝗕𝗶𝗍 before they both nodded their heads at one another. Before I knew it, I was being dragged into another room. The walls were a faded gray. The wallpaper has been long torn away. The smell in the room was all too familiar to me. The floor was ice cold. I never knew a room could hold such negative energy. But the past appearance of the room didn't matter anymore. The walls would be coated with a fresh new paint of BLD. The familiar scent was death. The cold floor will be replaced with a warm red liquid. Where are they? Shigaraki lifted my lifeless head up by my hair. They're no one to be found. They don't care about you. We do. Lies. 𝗬𝗏 and I went through a lot to try and get you whipped into shape. Bullshit. If your friends down at UA really were worried, wouldn't they have found you by now? Shigaraki let my head go, letting it slam into the warm pool of my own 𝗬𝗏𝗍𝗏. Don't hurt them. I managed to say. I heard a deep laugh come from 𝗬𝗏. He sent a swift kick to my stomach, hurling my way. I grabbed my stomach in pain, coughing up more 𝗬𝗏𝗍𝗏. You really think they'll all be true heroes, Wyan? Midoriya will. Midoriya is obsessed with overcoming his idol, All Might. What will become of him if and when he doesn't? His true drive is the fame it will bring him. No. That's not it. He's honest. Think about it. He's obsessed with trying to reign in his power. His body can't keep up with his quirk. He needs to train. He wants to save everyone. What if he can't save you? He will. Wyan, no one is ever coming for you. We're all you have, remember? You were begging 𝗬𝗏 to let you see us. Now that you have, didn't you miss us? I can't feel my body. Every muscle I try to move just aches. What will happen when they find out every sin you've committed? Will they still see you as one of their own? Face it, Wyan. You only know us. You belong to us. You don't fit in anywhere else. My mind went quiet. How would you go up to Midoriya? Look him in his eyes and tell him about the tens of people you've ruthlessly disposed of? How could you look into his innocent eyes of his and tell him you were lying to him all this time? He said he'd forgive me. You can't. Want to know why? Because you're afraid Midoriya won't ever understand you. You know deep down in your black heart. The League is the only place that will accept you and your twisted thoughts. Midoriya's innocent mind could never fathom your thoughts. I thought Midoriya would understand me. Can't he understand? My actions are inexcusable, but I want to be better for him. Make them understand Wyan. We can make them understand what we all suffered. Rooting out the fake heroes and exposing how dirty those heroes actually are. They are no better than us. Don't you want them to feel how you do? Shigaraki bent down, and he moved my body to lean against the wall. He took my face, forcing me to look at him. We can make it so that no one will ever misunderstand you again. He mumbled. I felt his words soaking deep into my skin. Is he right? Midoriya won't ever accept me. He hates the League. We're everything he despises. How could he ever look at me with his bright green eyes again after he finds out the horrible things I've done? I can't go back. We'll bring in one of our doctors. You're not leaving here again. Toga collected some of your BLD. She'll do the job. You do well to tell her everything you know so she can get in and get out. 𝗬𝗏 picked me up and threw me over his shoulder again. You got yourself in trouble, Wyan. I told you to be careful. 𝗬𝗏 whispered as he laid me down in the bed. My muscles were twitching. It was so cold. My body felt like it was hollowing out. I'm losing so much BLD. I miss Midoriya. His bed was so warm. He smelled like the sun and the tiniest bit of sweat. I want to see his smile one more time. Even if he grows to hate me and the only time I'll ever see him on TV in prison, I'll be okay with that. Just let me see him one more time. I just want to thank him for showing me there is more to life. I had never been more confused in my life. He confused me and everything I thought I had believed in. He showed me his bright light, and the chain that was tied to me was becoming less and less heavy the more time I spent with him. But all of that doesn't matter anymore. I can never go back there. I'd rather be hated from a distance. This is where I belong. It felt like years that I hadn't been able to open my eyes. My body was unresponsive to the wild thoughts in my head. No matter how much I wanted to move, it didn't matter. A couple days had passed and I was finally open to wake up from those thoughts that hounded me. You're awake. I heard Toga's voice and footsteps inching towards me. Too loud. How long was I out? My brain was empty and my body was riddled with pain. A couple days. You should be fine a few days. I also got the journal. I don't know why it took you so long. I got it as soon as I got there. Everything hurts. That's good. Every word I spoke felt like I was faking my words. Like someone was controlling me. The chain that was drawing me further down was the heaviest it had ever been. Take some rest. We have a job in a couple days. You should be well rested. 𝗏𝗏 laid me back down and exited the room. This is exactly how I felt when I first came here. Empty. Looks who's out of bed. First time in 3 days. Just in time too. We have a job. Let's go. Twice announced as I exited the room to get my clothes. Oh, shut up. What's the job? I mumbled. In the next town over. Shigaraki said, removing the hand from his face. The puppet emissary inside my head was in full control. Sounds fun. Why? The deal with those people in the back. 𝗬𝗵𝗵 ordered as he ran off with the rest of the group. I smirked and made my way towards the back. Finally. Ever since I woke up, I felt like my old self, the one who didn't care about myself and especially not others. The League raised me to feel this way. It's where I felt comfortable. A member of the League of Villains is where I belong. But then... Please, don't. They screamed. Screaming isn't doing anything. No one can hear you anyway. You're just hurting your voice. I grew closer to them, and the absolute fear on their face was becoming more apparent. My heart started to beat faster and faster the more I looked into their eyes. I'm sorry. One of them whispered to the other. They were embracing each other so closely. I saw the veins popping out of one of their hands from squeezing the other's so tightly. I knelt to their level, and one of them shot their eyes open. Horror was written all over them. They were shinning from the tears that were fighting to escape. Did they always look like this? I lifted my arm to do my job. I watched as they flinched and held each other closer. Close your eyes. It's all right. I'm here. It sounds like something Midoriya would say. I dropped my arm down in defeat and held my head down low. I whispered. Still shivering, they looked at each other and then at me. I'm sorry. Go now. I shouted, still kneeling with my head to the ground. They wasted no time, and I heard their heavy footsteps running away. Don't be so loud. They'll hear you. Be careful. I sat on the ground where those people sat in fear. I never gave any care to these things before. It's like I can feel the torment that was emitting off of them. I can't even do this anymore. What's wrong with me? I was so excited, but seeing them just made me feel something different. Why and what the hell are you doing on the floor? Let's go. Spinner appeared from the corner and dragged me to the rest of the ground. Once again, the puppet 𝗵𝗃 was dragging me along against my better judgment. I don't want to be here anymore. Can't we go home? I walked into the room with the rest of the League and immediately felt my stomach twisting. Shigaraki touched a man, and I saw his very body decaying away. His scream as he faded into nothing seemed to echo throughout the building, sending chills throughout my body. You were too slow. Had you gotten here earlier, he'd probably be alive. Too bad. I felt my eyes fixating on his decaying ash. I'm sorry. I whispered. It's all right. We still have one more chance. 𝗬𝗵𝗵 brought someone in and forced him on his knees. I saw tears streaming down his face. I already told you. I don't know any. 𝗬𝗵𝗵 kicked his leg, forcing the man to grab it and shake in pain. Bullshit. You know just as much as your buddy did. Just tell us and we'll let you go. I don't know anything. His voice was cracking and I saw 𝗬𝗵𝗵 roll his eyes. Why? Get him to talk. I can't do that. All right. I stalked up to him and patted him down. I pulled out his wallet and showed him the contents inside. Your kids are cute, I said, observing the picture further. His kids were genuinely very adorable. They look exactly like their father. I smiled while gazing into the picture and tore my eyes away to see his pupils shaking in fear. My smile dropped, and I felt my heart picking up its pace. Why in? Shigaraki said in a demanding voice. I don't want to do this. Don't you want to go home to your kids? Just say what you know. I knelt to him and picked up his head, using his hair. I squeezed his hair, and I watched his face flinch. I'm feeling weird again. Please, I just want to go home. I don't know anything. Please believe me. His eyes were staring hard into mine. He wasn't lying. His eyes were trying to show he wasn't. We scared him for no reason. Shiga, I began, but before I could finish, 𝗏𝗏 pounced on the man and stabbed him in the back. Too long. Too boring. she said as she continued to stab him. I fell backwards in panic. My pupils were shaking at the sight of an innocent person being brutally killed. Everything moved in slow motion as I watched Toga. His BLD was dirtying her clothes and her face. She licked her lips, and I watched in silence. There wasn't anything I could do anymore. He didn't know anything. He deserved to live. Could I have done more for him? I felt a hand being placed on my shoulder. Never hesitate again, 𝗬𝗵𝗵 said as he squeezed my shoulder tightly. Or you'll be the one Toga is going crazy on. He whispered in my ear before leaving a heated print on my shoulder sleeve. I mean it this time. I can't do this. I won't let them do this to any more people. Most of all, I wish 𝗵𝗃 were here. I really miss him. We all disappeared into our own spaces. I had claimed the room because of my excessive time in here, but it was much less lonely than being out there. I used to think of this place as a haven. 𝗬𝗵𝗵 took me in, and I felt like everyone was so welcoming to me. They all understood me so well. They told me my feelings were natural. They showed me their morals and why they were right. I'm young and easy to manipulate. That's what they used to their advantage. Perhaps I would have stayed their loyal dog if they hadn't sent me to UA. 𝗵𝗃 and Mina showed me things that I never thought were possible. I was also made fun of and a victim of bullying in school. I was convinced that it didn't matter how I acted. Something about me bothered people. I loathed everyone and everything. I wanted to prove myself in the world. It didn't matter how. I wanted to prove to everyone that I was so much more than their petty thoughts of me. But I become everything they said I would be. That's why I believed I could accomplish my own desires with the League's help. And for a little while, I believed with all my heart that that's what I was doing. But now I'm not too sure anymore. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I know what's supposed to be good and bad, but can't those lines be erased? I was so lost in my thoughts. My head was starting to throb. I wish my mind could take a break. I exited my room and went up to the roof. Up there, I can get a view of UA. I really only like to watch it during sunrise. The sun always said hello behind the school. The brightest light lit up the school. I don't know if I actually miss UA or if I just miss the people. I felt like a normal person there. They knew nothing about me and what I had done. They just treated me how I always wanted. I watched the pitch-black school and felt the wind blowing against me. I'd really do anything to see 𝗵𝗃's smile one more time. YN. I whipped my head backwards and covered my mouth with my hands. 𝗵𝗃. I breathed out. 𝗵𝗃. Is that you? He held a finger to his lips and kept drawing closer to me. Yes, but keep your voice down. I'm not supposed to be here, but I couldn't wait any longer. His tone was different and I could barely see his face. The moonlight was the only thing lighting us up. I missed you, YN. I felt his warm hand against my cheek, and I looked at his eyes. They weren't brimming with light anymore. They were dark, and he wasn't even blushing. He's usually nervous when we're alone. Are you okay? You're acting different. I took a step back despite wanting to keep feeling the warmth of his hand on my cheek. He kept drawing closer. I'm great. I was so worried about you, but now that I know you're here, I don't have to worry. I wanted to see you and make sure you were all right. You look appealing. Something's not right. How did you even know where I was? Why are you here alone? How did you get here without anyone not? He placed a finger over my lips, shushing me. You ask too many questions. Aren't you just glad that I'm here? Is this not enough for you? His voice was breaking a little. No. I missed you. I missed you so much. I want to do better for you. Thanks to your words, I've been able to push forward. I really did miss you. Then why are you suspicious of me? Isn't all that matters that I'm here for you? I'm risking my life for you right now. The words were being spat out of his mouth. I felt so small next to him. Like his body was looming over mine. This doesn't seem right. What is this new feeling? I usually feel so warm around him. I took a few steps back. 𝗵𝗃. I think you should go back to UA now. You'll get in trouble. I was feeling my heart clench, and a wave of anxiety was pumping through me. This feeling is called being scared. He's scaring me. Now you're shoving me away. Don't you miss me? I'm here to bring you comfort. I'm here for you. I missed you. What is this? He wouldn't say this. Do you want me to leave? His voice was growing louder and I felt my knees getting weaker. Say the word, YN. Tell me to leave again. I was darting my eyes back and forth between his, trying to see something. Something that would show me he's lying. That he's purposely trying to scare me, but I never saw any of that. They were harsh and cursing me. His eyes lost their spirit. I don't want you to go. I really did miss you, but please leave. I don't want to remember you like this. This isn't like you. My body was starting to feel heavier by the second. I'm the same as I was before. I just got tired of that shy, innocent kid stuff. But since you aren't accepting of the real me, I'm leaving. It was stupid and pointless for me to come to see you. You were always ungrateful. His words dug deep into my heart, stabbing me from every angle. I just wanted to see you smile. I whispered to myself as I watched him fade into the black night. I tumbled over my feet, heading back inside. Damn it. I screamed, slamming my fist on the ground, breaking the floor. My eyes were burning with the sensation of wanting to let out tears. What's wrong with you? Everyone is sleeping. Can you shut up? 𝗕𝗵𝗿 rose from the couch and made his way towards me. Can I use you to vent? I mumbled. I looked up to him and he smirked. Of course, but no holding back. You've kind of been pissing me off lately. I felt the adrenaline from my quirk pumping through my views. I spun the dial, and it landed on power. You ready, slot machine? 'Cause I'm not holding back. He lit a big flame in his palm. I heard you the first time. I mumbled, launching myself forward. 𝗕𝗵𝗿 released his flames, sending them straight for me. His body can't handle his quirk either. I dodged his flame and tried getting a blow in from above. You're too predictable, YN. I can read you like a book. He shouted, making his flame grow bigger. I landed on the ground and breathed loudly. We haven't been together long, but I know you'll never leave the league. The blue light that emitted from him engulfed him. How could you abandon family? He said, throwing a huge flame in my direction. I need to make him overheat. I dodged it with ease. I heard him make a 𝗧 noise. I didn't ask you to come here to have this pointless banter. I snuck behind him and kicked him, sending him hurling to the ground. I just wanted to vent. I mumbled as I watched him struggle to get up. You've changed. You were a soulless little girl like us. We want her back. You're no fun when you actually think. He surprised me by emitting another flame. It barely grazed my arm, but it was enough to cause it to sting. How could you do this? I shouted, going full force his way. How could you look people in the eye and have no regard for them? I shouted, punching away at his body. He caught both my arms and held them tightly. His grip on me was making my wrists burn. I tried to resist, but he wasn't letting up. You were the same. Do you know how ruthless you really were? You have no room to talk. He kicked me, making me fall over in pain. He picked me up by the collar of my shirt. Stop acting like you're so high and mighty. He threw me across the ground. It hurts. Everything hurts. He walked my way with a big flame enveloped in his hand. You are no better than us. You're just as worthless as us. They were too late to save you. So now you belong to us. No one is ever coming for you. I don't care. I don't care. He pinned me down, running his flame across my arm. The skin was charring up, and the smell surrounded us. I tried to hold in my scream, but I couldn't. The pain was unbearable. Stop acting like a hero. He mumbled, slowing down his hand, letting the flame linger longer in an area. 𝗕𝗵𝗿. I whined in pain, trying to push him away. I'm not acting a hero. I know I'll never undo what I've done. I saw what it could have been like for me. I want to remember it. I'll never be able to go back to UA, and I know that. But seeing their faces fills me with a feeling that I can never give up. Even if they grow to hate me. I want to be better for them. I want to be better for 𝗵𝗏. With some newfound strength, I felt my quirk powering up again. My arms were stinging with pain, but I pushed past it and managed to get 𝗕𝗵𝗿 off me. I'm not a hero, 𝗕𝗵𝗿. I'll never be one. But I can't be a villain anymore. Someone taught me there's so much more that I was blind to. I'm going to be better. I'll live with this guilt and make it my motivation. I pushed him to the ground and pinned him down. I stared long and hard into his blue eyes. He was showing nothing. They were empty. I took a few deep breaths. I picked him up off the ground and saw him stumble a bit, trying to keep his balance. His body was just as tattered as mine was. I can't feel the pain because of the adrenaline rush. He must be overheating. I held out my scarred hand. He looked at it with disbelief. Thank you for saving me, 𝗬𝗵𝗶. But I need to save myself now. He looked away and held out his hand, shaking my own. He pulled me into him, hugging me. Why are you hugging me? I tried to push him, but his grip was tight. We're a messed up family here. I don't like seeing family leave. He mumbled. It's like you're saying goodbye. Didn't you put me in a coma a week ago? I said, placing my arms on my back. Shut up. I really am sorry. I didn't want you to leave and become a shitty hero. I was just scared. My heart went out to him, but I couldn't forgive him so easily. 𝗬𝗵𝗶. Geez, were you always such a pansy? I rolled my eyes, and I heard a small laugh escape his lips. Shut up. I don't like losing family. I've had enough of that. He hugged me a bit tighter. I feel weird again. I've never seen 𝗬𝗵𝗶 like this. It's almost fake, don't leave the league yet. He whispered. My heart skipped a beat. I was being persuaded and I fell right into it. I won't leave yet. I promise. You can't just go get her. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 shook off 𝗬𝗪𝘅, who was grasping onto his arm. I never said I was. No one's doing anything anymore. All the heroes are plotting to do too much at once. We need to save her. I don't care about anything else. I'm not losing anyone else. 𝗬𝗪𝘅's face flushed with anger. She's not worth all of this. All she's been doing since she's been here is make you worry. She shouted but quickly realized what she had done. I don't mean to be rude. But leave this to the pro heroes. They will find her. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 turned towards 𝗬𝗪𝘅. She is more than worth it. I know I'm being impatient. He lifted 𝗬𝗪𝘅's face. But she needs someone right now. She needs me. He let her go and turned his back to her. 𝗬𝗪𝘅 couldn't help but feel defeated. Wyan had already won him over. But 𝗬𝗪𝘅 wasn't one to give up easily either. Do you ever think about yourself anymore? It's always about others now. You matter too, 𝗧𝗏. I'm sure Wyan doesn't want to see you hurt. She's strong. She can get through this. You need to be patient. 𝗬𝗪𝘅 continued to plead with 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏, but every word she spoke seemed to enter one ear and go out through the other. I'm not doing this for my own satisfaction. You never saw her the way I did. She puts up a good front, but she's really barely making it. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 could feel some tension being released from 𝗬𝗪𝘅. I need to help her. I'm not letting anyone ever give up on her again. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. You know, as your teacher, I have full responsibility for you. I can't let you purposely put yourself and others in danger. 𝗳𝗏 popped out from around the corner with his binding cloth ready. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏's head hung down low. His fists were clenched tightly. Her eyes had been screaming for help ever since she got to you. I let her go. Just like I once did with 𝗬𝗪𝘠. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏's nails were digging into his palms. The aura that invaded the hall could be sensed from everywhere. But you saved 𝗬𝗪𝘠. We were able to save her because we were ready. We aren't ready to save Wyan yet. 𝗬𝗪𝘅 took steps to get closer to 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. She gently placed a hand on his shoulder, and he shook her off. It's been a week and a half. Who knows what they're doing to her? 𝗬𝗪𝘅 and 𝗳𝗏 shot strange looks at the other. Neither 𝗳𝗏 nor 𝗬𝗪𝘅 had seen 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 look so defeated since 𝗬𝗪𝘠. He had tried his best to stay positive, but it seemed his walls were crumbling from within. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. Come with me. There's something you don't know about Wyan. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏's eyes shot up to 𝗳𝗏, who was hiding behind his cloth again. He turned his body away, and 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 followed behind him anxiously. 𝗬𝗪𝘅. It's late. Go to bed now. 𝗳𝗏 mumbled. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 looked behind and gave her a weak smile. Her heart ached for him. 𝗬𝗪𝘅 knew she couldn't do anything about 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 anymore. Once he set his mind to something, he'd stop at nothing to make it happen. There shouldn't be any reason as not to save her, 𝗳𝗏. As soon as 𝗳𝗏 shut the door, he took a big sigh. He unwrapped the cloth around his neck and gently placed it down. He sat in front of Midoriya and clasped his hands together. If you aren't going to save her, I will. Midoriya's voice boomed throughout the room. Izawa took another deep sigh. Saren. Izawa mumbled. What? Anger was pouring through Midoriya. YN's villain name is Saren. It's short for serendipity. It's an English word. Shigaraki gave her this name because that's what she was to him. She was an unplanned blessing to them. The tension in the room kept stiffening. I'm sorry, what? I don't quite understand. Midoriya leaned forward, hoping for more answers. Explain. He shouted. She's a member of the League of Villains. She's never shown up before because Shigaraki keeps her hidden and rarely uses her. She joined the League 1 or 2 years ago. The words Izawa spoke sank deep into Midoriya's heart. That's ridiculous. If you knew about this, why was she even admitted at UA? You're lying. Izawa turned his eyes away. Midoriya looked like his brain was running wild. Despite Midoriya's sad gaze, Izawa continued. From what we know, she was a kind, upfront little girl until middle school, when the bullying started becoming more intense. Her teachers say she was bullied because of her parents. They were villains. The other children were afraid of her. They were detained, and YN lived alone until the League found her. Izawa tried his best to deliver the information as smoothly as possible, but it seemed like he had just ruined Midoriya's perspective on YN. Of course, only YN knows the true story. Ours is just bits and pieces we gained from her middle school. The school believed her grandmother was living with her, but this was all a lie. YN has no other relatives. The ones alive are very distant and wanted nothing to do with her. Izawa couldn't get a sense of what Midoriya was thinking. Her parents died in prison. I doubt she knows this though. We also have minimal information as to why she came to UA. No doubt it was for the League, but she never touched any important files or harmed any students. How did pro-hero agencies not know her parents had a daughter? Wouldn't they have taken custody over her and not let her suffer like this? Midoriya's words were shallow. Her parents used fake names. Their villain life was separated from their daughter until it all came to rise while YN was in middle school. YN had no idea about her parents until middle school. We don't know many details besides this. Izawa stood up and walked to the window. Midoriya. At first, we stopped at nothing to save her. But now, it just seems like they took back what was theirs. She's at home. Midoriya slammed his fist down on the table, causing it to crack slightly. This is her home. You said it yourself. She never harmed any of us. She never took any information. She's being forced to do this. You saw how she was struggling to get away from 𝗬𝗵𝗍. All her weird questions are making sense now. Izawa was shocked at this new attitude Midoriya was showing. She asked me once if I could forgive her. She apologized over and over again. I was so confused before, but now it makes sense. She threw me back my journal. Midoriya whipped out the journal and laid it on the table. She was going to take this to them. This is what she was going to use to get the upper hand on us. Izawa turned his back to the window and raised an eyebrow. It's just your fanboy journal. Midoriya rolled his eyes. This has every hero and student's quirk information. Their weaknesses, strengths. With this, the League would overpower us with ease. But she gave it back right before she was taken. But if she's so bad, why did she give this back? You guys are thinking of turning your backs on her because she's a member of the League. Who says she even wants to be there anymore? Izawa felt Midoriya tugging in his heartstrings. It was the first time Midoriya smiled since YN left. Midoriya. She still has done awful things. Every sin she committed needs to go punished. She isn't as innocent as you are making her seem. Midoriya's smile faded. I know. She probably harmed a lot of people. She has to live with that guilt every day. His smile came back in an instant. But I still need to save her. Izawa smiled and walked up to Midoriya and ruffled his hair. There's just no stopping you, is there? Midoriya looked up to Izawa and smiled even greater. Not really. I really don't think she's a bad person, Izawa. I think she was just never given a chance to show otherwise. Izawa nodded. I believe that too, but you do know we will not treat this like she's in trouble. The League wouldn't hurt her. Just be patient, 𝗧𝗏. I will wait now. Thank you for telling me everything. Please keep me updated. 𝗵𝗃𝗍's eyes were gleaming again. The hope he had lost was being regained. With that look on his face, he felt guilt rush over him. Go on to sleep now. Izawa mumbled, showing 𝗵𝗃𝗍 to the door. Izawa sat on the couch and ran his fingers through his hair. He smothered his face and sighed. He didn't know how to tell 𝗵𝗃𝗍, who had just found some hope, that the moment YN is found, she will be detained and sent to prison. Back with the League of Villains, I hate this room. It stinks of death. The walls are filthy. It holds nothing but pain. But I couldn't avoid it even if I tried. The quicker you do it, YN, the less painful it will be. Shigaraki whispered as I stared into the horror-filled eyes of a woman. Her mouth was covered with a cloth, and she wiggled, making the chains on her wrist clash against the pole. Her body was completely tattered. Her eyes were barely open anymore. She struggled more and more to keep her body upward. Her dead body wouldn't be recognizable at this point. But I already did enough. I stepped away from her. I can't hurt people anymore. She's in so much pain. She can still be helped, though. Oh, come on, YN. Since when have you cared? Look at the pain she's in. Shigaraki stepped towards me and forced me down to make better eye contact with her. Her eyes were pleading for me to reason with Shigaraki. The fear in her eyes was something I never noticed before, but now I see it every time I look at someone. End it so she can live on peacefully. He whispered and spun the dial on my arm. Look at that. It landed on the blank space. What are you gonna use to finish her? He knelt, and without thinking, a small knife manifested itself before me. The woman started shaking her head violently and whining behind the cloth in her mouth. Her words weren't clear, but I knew exactly what she was begging me not to do. Wow, you kill her. A knife. That's quite a painful death, wouldn't you say, YN? Shut up. I don't want to do this. My body wasn't listening anymore. It was moving on its own. I remember how grateful I was when I got knives. The handle always fit so nicely in the palm of my hands. The grip was perfect. The sharpness was enough to cut the hairs on their arms. Knives were my favorite. My mind and body went dead. Shigaraki's strings on me led me to the woman's arm. That's it, why? Don't let her die in such a painful way. He whispered. I felt my arm growing tension as I began plunging the knife steeper as I dragged it along her arm. The muffled cries of her weren't enough to shake me from this spell I was under. Stop, please. I'm doing this so you can die quicker. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Please forgive me. Her muted cries filled the room until I felt my arm move the knife to her neck. We made eye contact, and her eyes shot daggers into my heart, making me regain focus and fall backward. I started to breathe heavily and ran out of the room. I punched the wall and felt my body reject itself. I felt that burning sensation in the back of my throat. I'm disgusted with myself. In an instant, the cries and whining had stopped, and so did my heart. I knew what had happened. Shigaraki had done what I wasn't able to do. Shigaraki had shortly after walked out of the room and shoved me down to the floor. We're getting closer, YN, to getting you all fixed. If you keep going half-assed, the one who will be lying dead in that room will be you. He knelt and forced me to face him. Go clean it up. He ordered, tossing me aside. I hate this SHT so much. I'm tired of doing the same old stuff all the time. Shigaraki and 𝗬𝗏 had told me I become soft. That the desensitization had worn off. That's why I was being overly sensitive to things that used to never bother me. Nightmares had become more frequent, and I barely ever slept anymore. If I did, all I saw were vivid dreams of people I had done awful things to. They would beg me for answers. Why was it them? Why did I pick them? It haunted me. I did this to myself. I tossed and turned in my bed for some time. I started to hear footsteps pacing around in the main room. I tiptoed my way to my door and opened it slowly. Toga, 𝗬𝗏, and Shigaraki were all talking. Shigaraki. I'm getting tired of acting around her. It's not our fault she's becoming more self-aware. How was I supposed to know? 𝗬𝗏 threw himself on the couch and covered his eyes with his hands. The big bad scarred man failed once again. Toga teased. I also did bad. I don't think I made a believable Deku. She said I sounded nothing like him and sent me away. Maybe I was too forward. She brought her finger up to her lips. It doesn't matter. This UA plan needs her. We need to get her under our thumbs again. Shigaraki's voice was filled with anger. Toga and 𝗬𝗵𝗏 didn't seem to be fazed at all. What's so special about her? She's just wreaking havoc. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 sighed. It's honestly annoying. More annoying than this psycho. They were just manipulating me. Yeah, Shigaraki. It was nice to have another girl around, but now that she's all, her voice trailed off. She thinks she's better than us. No, I don't. I didn't think you'd use her for this long. We all feel like we're babysitting her when we go out on jobs. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 sat up. I felt BLD inside me start to boil. So I was just an object at their disposal. Did I ever mean anything to them? I threw the door open to all of their surprise. Why in awake? Toga shouted. Was any of this real? I mumbled, reaching for the dial on my arm. YN. Shigaraki walked my way slowly. I said, was any of this real? Did any of you ever care about me? I did. I cared about you all. I spun the dial on my arm, and it landed on power, with the anger inside me and my quirk activating. I felt like I was levitating, and the hair on my arms spiked. You think you're all big now? 𝗬𝗏𝗏 stood up from the couch. Answer me. I demanded, lunging myself towards them. Everything happened so slowly. None of their expressions changed. Like that had been waiting for this happen. I got one shot in. I sent Toga's body slamming against the wall. No, it wasn't. We played nice for him. I never gave a SHT about you. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 mumbled. In a flash, I used all my strength to send 𝗬𝗏𝗏 flying through the wall, hitting the building nearby. I gave Shigaraki a sideways glance. Why did you pick me? I muttered. He never moved and just watched me. I got tired of waiting for his pathetic response and went after 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Though I was sure I heard Shigaraki say, I wanted to be there for you like my aunt was. Come on 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Let's actually finish this time. I shouted in the empty building. Nah, I don't feel like it. I followed his voice, but it felt like I was getting farther away from him with each step. I felt the heat rising from behind me, and I dodged it with ease and gave it my all to give 𝗬𝗏𝗏 a nasty punch. He ended up on the ground gasping for air. Despite the pain he was obviously in, he continued to get up. Your scars from last time are healing. He huffed out. I looked down at my arms and noticed the skin beginning to come back. He took the opportunity to catch me off guard and hold me down. Let's make it so that skin can never grow back again. He said, running his intense flames across my arms. Not again. Not again. I kicked him off me and grabbed my arm in pain. I'm not letting you do that ever again. I shouted as I sprung myself towards him, kicking him into another wall. I entered the rumble and pinned him, punching away at his body. I suddenly felt a warm liquid on my hands. I brought my hands up to my face and was shocked. I hadn't meant to do this. It's in your nature to kill YN, 𝗬𝗏𝗏 muttered, struggling to get up. I fell backward and he stalked over to me. Just like it's my nature too. He whispered. I closed my eyes, accepting the fate I brought to myself. I heard another loud crash and the sounds of 𝗬𝗏𝗏 coughing. I opened my eyes to someone holding out their hand to me. I traced up to their arm with my eyes to the warm glow of Midoriya's eyes. Midoriya. I mumbled. Let's go YN, he said, reaching down my bloody hands.